What is up, everyone? It is DJ Martini Midwest Reviews coming at you with another video from my channel. Today I have a really cool little video on a FIIO DAC or amplifier combo here that I want to talk about, made for iPhones and for iPods, your iPads, and also the mini version, the A1 from FIIO, which is really cool, that I want to talk about today as well. I've had it for a long time and have enjoyed having a little mini headphone amplifier as well. That is hi-fi. It does have some cool little features and things like that we're going to talk about today. And so I want to get into it and talk about these two little amplifiers and tell you what they can do, what they can't do, things like that, positives and negatives, and kind of give you that information. So thank you for tuning in, DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. If you like item reviews, tech items, item tutorials, software tutorials, things like that, DJ equipment, speakers, anything I can get my hands on, I'm going to bring that to you, give you all the information as easy as possible, research everything as best as I can, do that for you so you don't have to, and then leave some links in case you guys are interested in any of the products that I'm reviewing today. So thank you so much. On the FIIO Q1 Mark II, which has been out for a while, about 5 years, and so that's the reason I'm going through it, is because now you can kind of pick it up at a decent price. It was about $100 back in the day. Some places you'll find it's really expensive because they're kind of hard to find. There is a newer unit that is about the same price that we'll talk about just a little bit, but it's very similar to this one with a little bit of extra technology. But I'll tell you what they basically are made for, what they do, and then tell you what the reason I got them for, give you some positives and negatives, and wrap it up, get you out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get into the FIIO Part 1 here. The portable FIIO A1 right here. Now, I picked this up like 5 years ago. I don't have the box for it anymore. It's been out for a while. Let's see when it first came out here. Yeah, I picked it about 5 years ago. It was first available in 2016, and I wanted just a little mini amplifier to amplify some of my headphones. Sometimes when you bought headphones back in the day, the Apple iPhone, my iPhone now is pretty good, and so most of my headphones I don't have any issues, but I want to just amplify the sound a little bit, and this A1 was a really good option. It's only $35 and it's this small, so it's really small. It's called the A1, like I said, portable headphone amplifier, and it's just an amplifier, but it is supposed to be hi-fi. It's not it doesn't have the DAC performance that this one has, which is a digital to analog converter. Take your MP3s and change them to like an analog sound and convert some of that stuff. So just a little bit different, but this is just an amplifier. But it definitely adds a couple of volume notches, which is important on some headphones. And so I really did like it. Also has some EQing. You can add some bass, make it flat. So this is a cool little device, and it was built pretty good. Basically, you have your auxiliary jack on the bottom, you have a little charging port, which is micro, and then you have your on and on button right here, and when you turn it on, it will turn a little blue light on. Yep, you can see the blue light right there, and you can turn it off. When you're charging, it will turn red, and turn red to blue when charging. You do have little volume buttons right here. You have a positive and negative. You can see it. It is a little hard to see. They are very small, but you can see it. And then it has that EQ mode on the volume levels as well, but it's on the actual power button. So if you tap it once, you're going to be able to go through those presets. So it's very easy, very plug and play. Now, to hook this up, what you'll need to do is I have my tablet here, right here. You can see in the background, and I do have a little adapter here. But basically you would plug in, you'll need a 3.5 millimeter jack cable, and some of the equipment did come with this, but you will have to buy some your own. But this just came with the amplifier, so you will need to buy your own little 3.5 millimeter jack cable, which they're relatively cheap. You can get them, and I actually got these for like $1 at Walmart. So all you have to do is plug that into the bottom on this one, which is your auxiliary port, and then that will go to your source, which is our iPad here. And then on the top connection here, all you do is you connect your headphones. Right now I got some cross headphones here, which this can actually help a little bit, add a little amplification. And that is it. Now all we have to do is make sure that this turns on. So we'll just turn the blue button here, push it on, and then you're ready to go. Basically you have a little headphone amplifier, and this is going to raise a couple notches. Now once again, you're going to have to make sure that you have the volume up on both devices. It's not going to like take over or anything. So if I hit volume on this, I'm not seeing anything on my iPad or anything like that. So you do have to kind of adjust your volumes accordingly. So I usually have like my iPad or whatever device I'm using up to about maybe around 80% volume. And if you can't tell what that actual percentage is, I usually go all the way up and then notch it back like 2 notches on my volume pad. And then on this, I'll volume it to wherever I want the volume in my headphones. And that'll be a big sweet spot. But I did test it a lot and made sure that it actually is adding volume, and it does. So if I have my volume full on there and then full on here and go all the way up, it sounds really good. It's really louder. And then if I just unplugged this and plugged it straight into my iPad, I could tell that the volume did have more volume compared to without it. So it does work. It does add some volume to it. Really easy. It's just, you know, plug in 2 cables, turn it on, and you're there. EQ settings that it does have, it does say it has a flat EQ setting and 3 different bass modes. Really between 2 of those bass modes is just barely, you can add a little bit of bass. And then the second and third bass modes are very similar, so you can basically, you're just throwing a lot in there, but it does help. So you can add some bass to some headphones, and it is noticeable. It is silver. They do have a black model as well. It is hi-fi, 100 ohms. Like I said, it's very, very small unit. It does have the little switch for the EQ profiles, and you know, it's very, very easy to use. So it's a cool, simple little device. $35. I think it's still worth it today. So if you just need a little bit of extra power, very, very cool device. And I'll talk about negatives on this. I only have one, but we'll talk about that one at the end of the video here, so stay tuned for that. All right, so let's talk about my second item on the list. Is right here is the Q1 Mark II from FIIO. And like I said, it is a hi-fi audio DAC and headphone amplifier, so it's a 2-in-1. It does both. It is a mini device. It doesn't weigh much. It definitely can fit in your pocket. And we'll go ahead and take a look at it here. Really easy to hook up as well. I'll show you that in a second. But here's the actual device right here. And you can see, compared to the little mini, it is a lot bigger. But like I said, it still can fit in your pocket and things like that. It does have some cool features here. Now, you can see that it's like silver on black. And it's really hard to see what it says on there. But basically, this is the bigger port is a 3.5 millimeter jack, which is your headphone output. And then this is a 2.5 millimeter jack port as well. And this is your device input and then your headphone output. So that's how you'd hook it up. You hook the device to here and then you're out to the other one. So that's how you'd hook that up. You have your on and off here. Nice little satisfying click switch. Volume knob works decently. It is a little bit fine adjustment to get used to, but it works pretty good. You can see right here, FIIO high-res sticker on the bottom. It does have some options on the bottom. Now, on this side, you have your bass boost, and this side, you have your high and low gain volume button. So it kind of shifts the gain, and then you have a micro charging port as well. It does say you can get about 10 hours of battery life, which I can definitely believe. I haven't had to charge this one much. Charging, overall build quality, it is like a metal. It is good, and so far it's been pretty durable and works pretty good. Now, I actually don't notice this amplification as much as I do the little one, believe it or not. I really think this one kind of boosts everything a lot more than this one, but I have noticed that the sound quality is a little bit better with the FIIO Q1 Mark II. They're very, very close, very, very close, very, but on certain songs I noticed just a little bit more clarity with this one here. Very, very easy to hook up. Like I said, we would just take our device here. Your headphones will go in here, unless you have a 2.0 jack, then that will go in that one. And then this right here goes to here, and then you would just turn the device on. Now you do have to remember to adjust your volume here and on your device. So I usually take up my device to, you know, almost to full volume, maybe a click or two down, and then I'll adjust my volume on here to however I prefer it in the headphones. And it does work very, very well. Very, very clean sound. Very, very portable. Like I said, can absolutely fit in your pocket. And you can get a little bit more amplification if you're needing it on certain headphones. Let's talk about a little bit about some of its features that it's saying it's an official product to work with Apple with the Mark 1 MK2. With a few cables, like I said, it comes with a Lightning to micro cable. Comes with a 3.5 audio cable, a little mini one, some silicone bands, so you can, like, you know, if you wanted to strap it, it comes with a little case. That's pretty much all the details that I need to put out for that. And then let's talk about the Q3 real quick. What I want to put out there is very, very similar to the Mark II Q1. It's just going to be the newer model. This came out in 2017. This came out like older 2016. And then the new Q3 works for all types of smartphones, not only Apple but Android. I believe the Q2 would still work for, because it's the same principle, plugging in the cables and things like that, that it should work with any Android phone as well. But it was particularly made for Apple devices. But like I said, the Q3 works for all devices, Android and iPhone, and so iOS, Android. It will work. It does have the amp and low distortion, high power, things like that. So they might have improved some of the technology in there. I've never used the Q3, but like I said, I'm pretty happy with my Mark II here, and also the little A1. So, but I'm just putting it out there. If you want the newest model out there, the Q3 is a pretty good option out there. They also have a Q5, which you're getting into more, but is very expensive. So I think at $100 is probably what I would kind of stick to. And all the models that I've seen so far are pretty good. It does, the Q3 does have lossless sound, universal phone control, so it also will control your volume with your phone. So it does have a little bit more technology in the Q3 with the newer model. But like I said, if you're looking for a value that's significantly cheaper, you know, probably $40 to $50 cheaper, the FIIO Mark 1 MK2 is probably the way to go, because like I said, it's cheaper, it'll still work with everything that you need, and you know, it still has that performance being a amplifier and a DAC, which is cool. So let's talk about a little positives and negatives. Positive price point at $35, and I think this is the simple, easiest way to amplify your headphones. Most of the time you're not looking for super duper sound quality. You're just looking for something to get a little bit more volume out of that headphone. This can definitely do that for you, and it's really plug and play, easy to use. Does have a few EQs, which is great. My only downfall is over time. I've had this for about 5 years, and over time the battery has degraded, you know, significantly. So I can only maybe get 45 minutes to an hour of playtime with this, and it was a lot more back in the day. Over the time, like I said, the battery has degraded, and so that was pretty significant and happened quickly over, you know, probably in the first year or so. Yeah, it doesn't say quite what the battery life was. Probably even at the beginning, maybe 2 hours of battery life, and now I get only maybe 30 to 45 minutes. Just something to put out there, that the battery life over time, I've had it for 5 years, but it did its job, but it has degraded over time, how quick the battery dies on it. Other than that, I don't have a lot of bad negatives on this. I do like it. It's easy to charge. It does charge quickly. It does have easy to use. Does have those presets which sound decent. Like I said, the flat one is definitely cool. The bass adjustment, the first one is probably my favorite, and then once you adjust it more, it kind of maybe distorts things a little bit, so they're not my favorite because they're just really extreme. But other than that, this is a great little device for $35. Definitely something to upgrade and get a little bit more volume out of those headphones. The FIIO Q1 Mark II, like I said, 2017 came out, pretty good technology, kind of made for your iPhone, Apple, iOS devices, but still will work with Android devices. Works really good. Still has that hi-fi audio. It'll do both, not only, you know, your DAC, but will amplify some volume as well. Has that bass boost, has a volume gain and things like that. Volume was decent. You do get a little extra volume out of it. And sound quality was good as well. So just, this is pretty basic overview of everything, but I just wanted to put it out there because I still think it's a good product in 2023. It could be a value as well, because you can find it a lot cheaper than it was. So Thank you so much for tuning in to DJ Martini Midwest. Just want to put these two items out there. Had them for a while. Well, I've had the A1 a lot longer than the Mark II, but had them for a while. Have been useful. I do enjoy using them, and I think they would be a good little item to pick up if you're looking for some value, and if you need a DAC or a headphone amplifier or both. You can look into these products. Also, you can look into the new top of the line model, the Q3 or the Q5 out there, which are the newer models, but they're definitely going to cost you. Retail $100 on this one. Back in the day, you can find it for $50 to $70 now, or you can still pick up the A1 for around $35, which I think is your best value if you just want to amplify your headphones. Easy to use. Thank you for tuning in to DJ Martini Midwest Reviews. If this was helpful at all, please leave a like or subscribe, and we'll talk to you really, really soon on my next video. Later.